I've been working with resin for about 2 years, and jewelry has been through all 4 years. It's been a really cool thing to help me grow as a person, to learn how businesses work.
Tree transformation is goods from the woods. What we do is we take fuel reduction waste from the forest, from tree services, we mill that into lumber, and we use that to build wood products that we sell on our web store, Tree Transformation. I also feel like the entrepreneurship skills of seeing how a business is run has to be a benefit for every student.
It's changed my plan for the future a lot. It's definitely made me realize what I love to do, and it's made it difficult choosing what I want to do because there's so many new things now that I absolutely love.
Having an independent way to express myself has helped me to channel a lot of doubt I have in myself into something that I can feel excited about in the future.
Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to our webinar on Transform Your Skilled Trades Classroom into a Business. My name is Kang, Program Manager of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. And on behalf of our team at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, we want to thank you for taking this opportunity and time out of your busy schedule to join us today. We have an awesome panel before you to talk to you today about putting the power of entrepreneurship into the hands of your students. In classrooms nationwide, we see that students learn to run a real business while developing skills that bring new relevance to traditional coursework. We here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, since 2018, have partnered with Real World Scholars, a nonprofit based in San Diego that teaches K through 12 classrooms on how to turn their classrooms into a business, or as they call it, an educational corporation, also known as an EdCorp. For the last several years, we have partnered with them to turn skilled trades classrooms across the country into businesses. So I'm excited to introduce today Adam Mathis, who is the Special Projects Manager from Real World Scholars, who will tell you more about their innovative and impactful work.
Thanks, Tay. As he said, I'm Adam Mathis. I'm a Special Project Manager with Real World Scholars, and I oversee the skilled trades cohort of classrooms that we have in partnership with Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. I'd like to start with a quote from an article in the World Economic Forum, actually published just last week. It says, "It is not enough to add entrepreneurship on the perimeter. It needs to be at the core of the way education operates." And in the article, they advocate for a skills-first approach to education as a way for young people to prepare for their future. The article refers to a framework for teaching and learning of skills required in the 21st century, and those skills can be seen there on the right-hand side. I'm not going to read them all, but I wanted to point out that you'll see all of these highlighted here are core tenets of what we strive to include in our programming as part of the EdCorp's experience here at Real World Scholars. And who are we? We are a nonprofit founded in 2014. We've worked with hundreds of educators across the country to integrate real-world hands-on entrepreneurship, and we've supported more than 600 K through 12 classrooms since 2014, and over 50,000 students have participated in the program, involved in starting and running a real business, which gives them the opportunity to explore their passions and interests. We've been partnered with Harbor Freight Tools for Schools since 2018, and I'll talk more about that partnership in just a little bit. So what is the EdCorp's experience? The EdCorp's platform allows teachers to turn their classroom experience into a student-led business. It's a way to integrate real-world entrepreneurship and community engagement directly into the classroom, and it allows students to design and build a product that they're excited about. They market that product, list it on the website through the EdCorp's platform, and then market and sell those products to real customers. They earn real funds, and those funds can be reinvested to grow the business or passed along to community partners or donated to 501c3 charitable causes that students are passionate about. So what's included in the EdCorp's experience? There's seed funding to get you up and running. A set of gamified toolkits. So if you've never started a business before, or don't have a ton of experience with injecting entrepreneurship into your classroom, There are step-by-step activities that will help you and your students build a business from the ground up. We've built an e-commerce platform and dashboard, which I'll go into in a little more detail in a minute, but that's going to be the hub for the entire business, everything from building the website, listing products, and handling all of the accounting behind the scenes. And then you receive a ton of programmatic support, both in the form of lots of resources that we provide to a dedicated person, which in this case is me, to help walk you and your students through the business building process. Wanted to give a little preview of what the EdCorp's dashboard actually looks like. So this is the EdCorp's dashboard. I wanted to give you just a preview of what it would look like if you were to log in as an EdCorp's educator. And one thing I wanted to point out here at this point is, what is an EdCorp? It's an education corporation, or EdCorp for short. That's how we refer to the student-led businesses that we support. In the EdCorp's dashboard, you'll see a ton of stuff right up front, everything from the spot where you'll design your website, the opportunity to manage and fulfill the orders. All of the accounting is handled here. Access to Class Wallet, which is a third-party organization we've partnered with, and they provide essentially an expense account, which allows you, with the support and permission of your administration, to access funds without going directly through your own business office. No purchase ordering or pre-approvals are necessary. You're able to respond to the needs of your business in real time. So educators can access both the initial funding that they receive at the beginning of the year, as well as student profits and any other financial bonuses that are earned throughout the year directly through a Class Wallet account, again, without going through the school or the district. And you can access that there through the dashboard. And there are several other resources that are part of the dashboard as well, and these change from time to time. But one I wanted to point out here is the opportunity to connect with mentors who can help the students with a variety of different activities when they're trying to build a business. Everything just from the simple idea of choosing a name or picking the mission of your business, to what types of products, or especially things related to marketing and sales, which are common issues that classrooms might things they might kind of run into and have some questions about how to handle. So there are opportunities to connect with mentors, everybody from local businesses that we've worked with in the past, all the way up to people who are, Harvard business people that just want to help out students who are building their own business. And that mentor list changes from time to time as well. Wanted to take a second and highlight one example just to give you an idea of what's possible in an EdCorp's classroom. Ivy Fresh is a student-led business operating out of Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, and they have been running their EdCorp as a social entrepreneurship. So they, as part of their agro-science class, learned about the issues that the local bat population was facing, and so they decided to learn more about bats. They partnered up with the Cumberland State Park Rangers. They designed and built bat boxes, which are a safe habitat for bats to nest, breed, and hibernate. And then they took those bat boxes once they were finished and sold them to the community through their EdCorp's platform. They sold out their entire inventory, made over $1,000 during the course of the year, ended up making a donation to Bat Conservation International at the end of the year as a way to kind of wrap up the whole experience. And then the following year, they went on to learn about kestrels and kestrel houses, a similar sort of situation, but they're a really great example of what's possible with the EdCorp's platform. They took a community-based problem, learned about it, created a solution for it, and then made that the focus of their business. And because of the profits that they earned, they were able to bring it full circle and even make a donation to a charitable cause at the end of the year, which is really great. Wanted to take a minute and actually explain just a little bit about the Harbor Freight EdCorp's initiative itself. So we have two different programs as part of EdCorp's, where we can, on one side, support any K through 12 classroom, regardless of classroom focus and regardless of age. And then there's the Harbor Freight EdCorp's initiative, which is specifically designed to support public high school skilled trades classrooms. All of the resources and support are the same, but all of the skilled trades classrooms, thanks to the partnership with Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, receive a $1,000 micro grant at the beginning of the year to get started. And there is an expectation that the students will use hand and power tools during the course of the year to build the products that they build and create. and sell. So that's the primary sort of programmatic requirement difference. But what that means is that there's a specific program and specific resources and a specific person, again, in this case, it's myself, who provides the support for the skilled trades classrooms to make sure that they're best set up for success. In terms of the impact, we've been working, like I said, with Harbor Freight Tools for Schools since 2018. We've supported 46 Ed Corps to this date, skilled trades Ed Corps specifically. More than 2,600 students have participated in 10 states. And up to this point, there have been more than $46,000 of profits earned by those skilled trades classrooms since the beginning of our partnership. There have been at least 10 organizations, and sometimes we don't always know. There's probably more, but at least 10 organizations and causes that have been supported. And you can just see that from the student perspective and the teacher perspective, there's just a ton of skill development that happens during the course of the year. Students feel more confident in executing on their ideas. Teachers see a ton of student engagement, in a lot of cases, a significant increase over what was happening in the class prior to the introduction of a student-led business. Student confidence just goes through the roof. As do creativity and collaboration. And you can see 82% of the students have said that they've developed more relevant life skills while they've been working on the student-led business, like directly a result of that. So the numbers speak for themselves. Introducing entrepreneurship in the form of a student-led business into your classroom is just a really powerful way to help students build the 21st century skills that they need to be successful. And as it happens, we are now accepting applications for next school year. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has, but if you'd like to learn more, you can visit us at realworldscholars.org. You can reach out to me directly at adam@realworldscholars.org, or if you want to jump right in, you can use the QR code on your screen right now, which links directly to this year's application, and there is space for next year. We're actively recruiting new classrooms, and it's a really great opportunity to inject some entrepreneurship into your classroom. And that's it. Thanks so much. It was really great to be here. We love the opportunity to share the work that we're doing and all of the exciting stuff that our students are working on. So really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks so much.
Golden Oaks Designs is a student-run business. We create different products for sale, primarily hand-turned pens, pencils, and cornhole boards.
It allows us to have more independence and actually operate a company, and everything is involved in that process.
We need to make the product, push the product, get it out there so we can make money and keep the company going.
What's important to me is having a good work ethic and having quality in what I do and having the pure satisfaction to say, hey, I did this.
Becoming a CEO and being able to work on this is, I believe, like the most amazing thing someone could do.
The Ed Corp is an amazing opportunity, and I feel very grateful to be a part of it. For where it started and where it's at right now, it just brings a good smile to your face to see it happen.
Hi, my name is Craig Wetzel. I'm a teacher here at Keystone School District. I'm here with my colleague, Dennis Sarchet. We teach technology education.
How you doing? My name is Dennis Sarchet. I'm a Keystone Oaks Middle School tech ed teacher. I also teach STEM.
Dennis and I help oversee Ed Corp called Golden Oaks Designs here at Keystone Oaks High School, where students run and manage everything within the business, creating hand-turned pens, pencils, and other custom engraved and laser cut products.
Students are responsible for all making of product, selling of product, any type of communication and design. The best thing by running a business out of school is, I believe, the relationships that we've created with students, with parents, with the administration.
Yeah, I'd say the best thing about running a business through our program is having the students really see what their effort, what their work can really turn into by sharing what they do with the general public. And whether that's either selling a product or just being face-to-face and interacting with someone, I think that's one of the best things. My favorite project through working with our Ed Corp and RWS was most recently the opportunity to attend the Pittsburgh Home and Garden Show. Now, this was a 10-day event that is set up for professional contractors, home and garden professionals. And we were the only school invited and offered a booth to sell at that event. And this was by far probably one of my favorite things to do, because it challenged our students, it challenged myself and Dennis to really evolve the business, to prepare for the event and take everything we had learned over the past 4 or 5 years and put it to something that was at probably the largest thing that we had and the largest challenge that we had taken on with our students and with the Ed Corp. It challenged us, but it also made us grow really quickly. And we had student involvement through the most student involvement as far as from production all the way into selling at the event. And we saw students thrive in different roles within the business with this event.
We took it up to a vote. You just want to do 3 days, or do you want to do what do we do, 9? We did 9 days. And I was like on board and like, let's do all 9. And then we crunched our numbers to what we normally produce for a 1-day and 2-day show. And then we set our goals. We had over 300 pens and pencils, 50 sets of pens and pencils within cases. We did over 200 laser engraved night lights, and we did specialty pens. And that month and a half to 2 months of that building just in the classroom after school till 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night sometimes. That is, I think I enjoyed that the most. The most hectic part of it, getting everything ready, and then just the experience of being there with the other vendors, having them compliment us, compliment the kids. And it was just, it's a crowning achievement, I think, what we've been working on so far.
Yeah, the experience being there and having the kids be approached by other professionals that were there selling, complimenting them, and actually sometimes even jokingly offering them to, why don't you stand at my booth and help sell my product, because our students really took on the challenge and they were there to represent themselves, but represent the business the best that they could. And the professionals and the general public, the customers that came through saw that, and we just had so much positive feedback from everybody. It was the most exciting thing. As Dennis said, it was grueling. The kids put in a lot of time. We were late nights a lot of the time, but we saw the most growth happen, I would say, within that 2-month, 3-month period from when we initially thought of, and the students put those feelers out to the 9 days that they attended.
And then at the end, it was the point where the operator of the Home and Garden Show thanked us and came up personally, said, you're welcome back. So that was a big thing for next year. It's like, we're going to do it all over again.
So the best reaction that we've had from outside the classroom would definitely be from our school administration and our superintendent. The moment they heard that we were going to start introducing this to our classrooms, they were on board. And the numerous events that we have attended and had all these positive comments, they couldn't be more excited. They offer us things to help the program run better. They support the students. We've had so many parents on board as well, and they love the idea. I've had parents come up to me asking how they can get their students involved once they hear about the program. So the positive reaction is across the board. This really gets students involved with the things that they're already doing in the school or in the classroom. It motivates the students, and it is positive for not only the students, but for the district that is involved. We see a lot of great things evolving from the district side of things, whether it's promoting our programs, promoting the Ed Corp itself, and then just promoting the students and really highlighting all the positive things that they are doing by participating in the Ed Corp.
It's not a traditional type of class. It is non-traditional. It's pretty much how education is starting to look, and it really gives students and teachers the different insight of how they can do things differently, how their classrooms could be set up, how they can communicate with different professionals and have them come in, have the students go and see what's going on, and it's like real world, experiences that they get by having, when they develop a product, when they're selling it, and just the things that they see. I think it's a real positive, and it's definitely, I know with my building principal, with our administration, they've really taken that to heart.
I definitely recommend anyone that is interested in driving excitement to their program and incorporating things with the real world to involve starting a business within your program.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity, this is definitely the route to go, to start a student-run business within your classroom. It's exciting. It brings in new ideas. It brings in creativity. It gives the students a lot of opportunity to see what it's like when they graduate, what's going to be available, what they can do, what some of their strengths are, what some of their weaknesses are. Definitely, it brings everything together and makes it a really unique learning experience. I would highly recommend it.
Hi, my name's Abby Brannick, and I'm a senior at Keystone Oaks High School. I am the CEO and the secretary of our student-run business, Golden Oaks Design. This is my 4th year helping run and manage the business, and this is also my 4th year in the club called Technology Education. When the club first became a thing, my brother was one of the first ones to join. I always loved my woodshop classes and being able to complete tasks hands-on. I joined to learn the logistics of running a business and to experience the woodshop field outside of the classroom. Taking part in running a business tied to skilled trades allows you to get the hands-on experience and create new ideas. These experiences will help me in the future since I am going to college for nursing. This will help with my communication skills with patients and other professionals. Since I am the CEO and the secretary, I worked with a company called Boom to engrave pens and cases with their company logo on it. This is a long and tedious process, but in the end, the client was thrilled with the final product.
Hi everybody, my name is Rocky Bobak. I am the vice president of the student-run business that we run out of Keystone Oaks High School. And so I joined the company 2 years ago at the beginning of my sophomore year, roughly 2 years, and I am now quickly approaching the end of my junior year. And to see how much we have grown from the 30 to 50 pens that we were selling at Handmade Arcade only a year ago to now getting invited to big selling events like Home and Garden Show, and we've actually been invited again to go back in the fall, which is a super cool opportunity for us to see. It's crazy to me. I never thought we would end up getting this big. We really are so blessed to have this opportunity presented to us by Mr. Wetzel and Mr. Sarchet, and of course real world scholars, especially in such a challenging market like the Home and Garden Show. We were really not expecting what we saw there, because it was a very different market than like Handmade Arcade, which was our previous biggest show. So to go from there to a completely different market where people were honestly, they were not looking to buy, and we really had to grow and change up our pitches to get people into our little booth and actually sell product. Honestly, a big benefit to us as the students to get this real world experience of selling and marketing and different tactics that everyone has to use in their day-to-day life if they were a salesperson, which I could definitely see some of our students becoming, because we did, like I said, have great success there.
Thank you, Adam, Craig, and Dennis, and your students for your awesome presentation. We greatly appreciate your insights. And now, due to their model on selling products, our partnership with Real World Scholars has focused on industrial technology, manufacturing, and carpentry programs. But we know that there are other skilled trades teachers and programs out there who are interested in turning their classrooms into a business, namely automotive teachers. So we are thrilled to introduce Roxanne Amiot, a 2017 Harbor Freight Tools for Schools Prize for Teaching Excellence winner, and an automotive teacher from Bullard Havens Technical High School in Bridgeport, Connecticut, who has turned her automotive shop into a business for her community.
I'm Roxanne Amiot. I am automotive instructor and department head at Bullard Havens Technical High School in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Here at Bullard Havens, we not only instruct grades 9 through 12, but we have what is called a production shop. That means we have a live repair garage that's licensed by the state of Connecticut. So we do service customer vehicles. It's part of what the state uses production to support instruction. So as the students become 11th and 12th graders, we have them work on customer vehicles. We have a curriculum, but we also fit these in to give them that live and also real time sensitive feeling of what it's like to work on a customer vehicle in a situation. It excites the students because we do have donated vehicles that they perform ASC job sheets on, but when they have a customer car, it excites them. It's something live. It's something they're going to do for somebody else. It counts to them. It gets them excited in that way. So production is good in that way. And also they have a variety of vehicles to work on with various conditions and states, and they get to inspect and find things and help the consumer, help the customer that way. I have always found that production does encourage them to get more involved and really excited in working on a vehicle. Our businesses that hire our students through work-based learning programs before they even graduate, our employers are very happy with our students. We do everything we can to ground them and make them employable and follow employability skills, time management, teamwork, integrity, really inspecting something, keeping it safe because somebody's going to drive that vehicle. We do this to make sure our students are fully prepared to be the advanced apprentice automotive tech when they go out. Our local businesses are calling, emailing daily to try and grab our students and get our students. And now I'm at a point where I'm saying, if you want to get a student, you got to grab them when they're 16 and be part of our job shadowing work-based learning program. On the 26th, we are having our automotive interviews. We are having about 25 employers, and I'm getting the calls back now that they're reserving their spot. And we will actually have them in our shop, set up in stations. Our students will be dressed presentably in their uniform or in business attire with completed resumes, and they will be looking to either get employed or to get a job shadowing chance for a day to show their skills that they are developing here. The younger students will be networking and practicing their interviewing skills and their resume skills, but making that connection with the employer, because some of these employers, if they're smart now, they're looking ahead. We have such a shortage of automotive employees that they come to these programs, they come to our program, and a lot of them do request to come to Bullard Havens because they do know our preparation and our program and what we do to get them ready, to get them prepared. I hope this information has helped you understand hear what we do in Bullard Havens in Bridgeport, Connecticut at our automotive shop. As I said, please reach out to Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, or they'll give you my contact information. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne, for your presentation. We immensely appreciate your wisdom as always. We here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools truly believe that giving skilled trades students and teachers opportunities to use and expand their skills as entrepreneurs is an example of excellence in skilled trades education. But wanted to say before we dive into our Q&A today that while we present the work that Real World Scholars and Roxanne do as exemplary models that hopefully get you thinking and provide you some ideas and practices, teachers and students can definitely make it happen on your own or on their own. They don't necessarily need to subscribe to the Real World Scholars or Roxanne's model, but we wanted to help provide these as guides for you to get you thinking about how you can implement some of these ideas into your classroom. So just wanted to start off by saying that. But for our first question for our panel today, is how did you choose which items or services that you would sell to your community? Any tips for these teachers on how to best select their product or service? Craig, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So way back when we started this, we actually held a mini mock business meeting with all of our students that were in my classes at the time. And we just looked at what products they were interested in. And we looked at the products or the projects that were being done in the classroom, projects that they felt comfortable sort of working with. So it wasn't something that was brand new to them. And they just sort of took some of the models and some of the help tips from the RWS information, and we went through the different products that we were making in the classroom already, and they picked the hand-turned pens. And as we've evolved, they've sort of looked at our current technologies and looked at what things could easily sell to customers, and have expanded to laser cut night lights and again technologies and materials that they're already comfortable using in the classroom.
Awesome, thank you. Dennis, anything you want to add to what Craig said?
No, it's just well, a couple things. The pens and pencils we started, that was a classroom project that the students really enjoyed, and we just expanded on that within the club. And as we move forward, Craig says we did the laser cut night lights. We also did some cutting boards at the time, and we did some different things with tea light holders, and just seeing what the kids enjoy doing, what they could produce. And we just to gauge the public's response, just to see how well they liked it.
Awesome, thank you. Roxanne, you do automotive, right? Automotive services. How did you go about selecting what types of services you would provide to the community?
Well, at this point, we're doing a lot more of vehicle inspections, maintenance, oil changes, brakes, exhaust work. We do some electrical. We're starting to avoid larger rebuilding work, such as with engines, and so that we used to do them in the past, but we find it a little bit more productive and keeping the students moving with common procedures they're going to do as an entry-level technician. So
thank you. Adam, anything, in terms of real world scholars broadly, how do you inspire or help motivate teachers in terms of teachers in classrooms picking an item and making that their product?
Well, we like to start out by providing some like a menu of options to get kind of whet the appetite, and then we encourage them to kind of do a little bit of market research. Think about what what they can produce in the classroom, what they would enjoy making, what they have the means to create, and then do a little bit of research into the community. What are people wanting to buy? Can they produce it, and can they sell it? So it's a combination of sort of early inspiration, and then taking stock of what's possible and and I think a big part of that is what the students want to do. What inspires them, what excites them, what drives them, and find something that sort of checks all those boxes.
Thank you. I saw a great question in the chat regarding how do classrooms apply for business licenses? Like, how do you handle the taxes and all the numbers and the legal sides of things? And saw a great response. But Adam, from Real World Scholars, and then how do you guys handle all those kind of business end of things?
Yeah, I saw the response there, and that's basically sums it up. If a classroom is operating under the as part of the EdCorps program under our Real World Scholars nonprofit umbrella, we handle all of the business licensing and essentially liability. But the liability is also when people purchase through the platform, customers understand that what's being purchased is being made by a student-led business, and they sort of, let's say, waive any liability. But the business aspect of it is all handled by us. The classrooms educators don't have to worry about any of that. We take care of it all for them.
Okay, good to know. Saw a great question in the chat regarding what was the hardest part about getting started? How did you get your administrators on board? How did you pitch it to them? and convince them and persuade them that this would be a good idea? Roxanne, I want to start with you. What was the hardest part, and how did you convince your district and administrators to get on board?
Well, I can't take necessarily credit for this. This is a state program that's been around pretty much in our system for over 100 years, where we are encouraged, whether it's carpentry, masonry, electrical, automotive, to run production shops, go out and build houses, and have a business here. We're encouraged, and they want it as part of our curriculum. So I can't take credit for instituting this. It's just something we practice because it's an important part of what we do to prepare students. So.
Sounds good. Thank you, Roxanne. Craig, Dennis, anything you want to add to that? What was the hardest part about getting this started?
I would say that we're sort of in a unique situation. I would think our administration has been very supportive from the beginning. I don't, as far as getting them on board, I think it was pretty much this was an opportunity that was presented to us. We feel like this is going to enhance what we're already doing in the classroom and improve engagement and excitement with our students and give them these real world skills, which we were already trying to enhance in our classroom. And it was pretty much like, this sounds great. And we were pretty much set from there. I don't know if Dennis has anything to add to it, but we've just been lucky to have a very supportive administration.
Yeah, I believe with Real World Scholars and Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, that really solidified what the program was about, and they were going to give us these different resources, and it really made it legitimate to introduce it just a little bit at a time into the school and to see how the students responded. And it was just small steps we took at the time, and they saw a lot of what we were doing and were really impressed, and I think just encouraged us even more to continue what we were doing.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Dennis. Just a slight tweak to the question for Adam, regarding, there's some, Craig and Dennis, they've had a great experience, so has Roxanne, but there are sometimes administrators or district officials who may be more hesitant about getting started in this. Like, Adam, what have you confronted, and how have you helped persuade and convince districts? What are some of your best practices and ideas there?
I think honestly, it's just having the conversation, explaining, the benefits first and foremost. And usually when we come up against pushback, especially at the say at the school level, but more often it's at the district level, it usually involves the funds. And we work with several very large school districts, as well as lots and lots of individual schools, and we've got lots of examples of how things work. And we are always we as the team at Robo Scholars are happy to hop on the phone with school or district administrators and explain to them, walk them through how it works, to kind of set their mind at ease. Everything's very transparent. Reports can be pulled at any time, so administrators or district officials who are curious about what's going on can see what's happening. So we're happy to hop on the phone with them and just help them understand, why it's such a great option for the schools, especially when they've got a teacher who's really excited to get it going.
Truly, that's awesome to hear. In terms of, saw some in terms of the nuts and bolts, right? Saw some questions about like how to price things, how to figure out, labor cost or et cetera, or how much items should cost. Well, how do you go about, working with your students or working with the community to figure out what should cost how much for an item or for a service? We'd love to kind of hear maybe some of the nuts and bolts about that. Dennis, can you talk to us about figuring out prices and costs for your items?
Sure. We had our first group of students. We had one dedicated, he wanted to take charge, and so we presented everything that we could get at cost if we would buy it with our seed money, and pretty much came down to how much a pen would cost for the hardware and then for the wood pieces, and we got an idea for that, and then we talked about time that we would have to spend per pen, and that went to our student laborers that we had, and we figured out how long it would take them to produce a pen. So he added that together, and we sort of got a figure that seemed that it was going to work for us and still be affordable to everyone to buy. And we just went from there. And every once in a while, we tweak different things on what we can get products for, how much we can get products for, and then sometimes the time involved is a lot more than so the laser cut night lights a lot of times invested into writing, doing the design on the computer. That's very time involved. So that changes things. But Craig, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, the RWS really, we also looked at, they have great toolkits that we use that help sort of spark some of that research phase of how to price products. So we did have students go through in that first grouping as well, went through and looked at those toolkits, and then also just went online and researched. Dennis and I said, what are prices of comparable products? And so they looked at those items and they tried to come up with something that they felt would be a fair price based off of what was already being sold that was like what we were making, through the different things that they researched and using those RWS toolkits. So they sort of compiled a whole variety of different things to come up with their pricing, and then of course going out and selling it. So we've sold items, and we went back and looked at the data and said, all right, why is this not selling? Ask other people, is this what you would pay for a product like this? And then they've made adjustments accordingly through that method as well.
Thank you both. Roxanne, anything about pricing or costs?
Yes, we have behind me, there's a labor rate sign that we're supposed to post as a repair facility. Our instructors at our 17 programs get together with a consultant. Our labor rate is $20 per hour. We use a flat rate book where the students look up the flat rate time for the job. It's $20 per hour because students are performing the work. And even though a flat rate job may be 2 hours, that an experienced tech may do the job in, we may have a car here for a couple days because we're instructing, which is the main focus. So while the public gets a break on the labor rate per hour, the change off is that students are working on it, learning on it, and that's the priority. So it may take a longer time. Parts, we don't get involved with parts at all. Though the state would let us and we do a markup, I won't even go there. For timely acquisition of parts, we usually have some parts houses we work with. We'll call them and the customer can just work, like giving them a credit card over the phone, and then they deliver the parts to us. So we don't lose a lot of time waiting for parts to get the job going. So that's basically how it works here.
Excellent. Thank you all for explaining the math that goes behind it. It's really, really impressive. And the level of thought that you all put into this that comes from this experience. But there was a great question just the chat right now. Are these types of programs more of like clubs, after school activities, or is this something that's completely immersed into the curriculum and to the life of your program? Would love to kind of hear about if this is kind of more of a after school club or more of a immersion into your classroom. Adam, can you start by talking about that, please?
Yeah, happy to. And I was just starting to type a response. Probably made more sense to say something. So, we for us, it really goes both ways. Like in Craig and Dennis's situation, it began as part of a classroom, and then it kind of, I think, outgrew the classroom to some degree and moved into a club. And students are able to come after school and different. It provides opportunity for maybe a student who couldn't get into the class and wanted to be involved, which is really great. We have lots of student-led businesses that operate solely from the classroom. It's not part of a club, and I would say that's probably more of the example and less of the exception, more of the rule and less of the exception. I would say we really encourage educators to try to use the business as a way to teach the standards that you're required to teach to. So the integration of the business works best when it's built into the classroom, not as like a separate piece because if it's, you know, when it comes down to time constraints, you're always going to choose classroom standards over extracurricular things. So integrating the business into the class and into the curriculum as best you can is kind of essential for success, I would say.
Thank you, Adam. Roxanne, anything in response to that question?
This is not a club. This is real. It's part of our curriculum. It's part of what we do daily. Our upperclassmen usually do production 11th and 12th grade. We have students here full days. They rotate every 2 weeks. We do have a curriculum. We are ASD accredited, so there are task sheets students have to perform. So we do have donated vehicles that they will perform things on, but right next to them, we will have the customer cars for 11th and 10th grade. And it's part of, there's time within the curriculum that we have for production, and that's what we do. It's part of our everyday work.
Awesome. You know, so thank you all for speaking on that. You know, whether it's starting in the classroom, becoming a club, or, you know, being only classroom experience, you know, it's different experiences for different classrooms in different districts, as you can see. But would want to move on to the next question regarding kind of stigma around the trades, right? We know that there's oftentimes negative perception, right, around skilled trades education, or those jobs, or those are dirty jobs, or those are classrooms for those kids, right? And, you know, the one thing that we at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools are trying to advance and, you know, and shine a light on is how impactful and important and valuable skilled trades education is, not just for local communities, but nationally. So, and that we want to confront the stigma and perception head on. And so I wanted to ask you all, has turning your skilled trades classrooms into businesses helped address kind of the stigma around the trades? And if so, how? And so I'd love to, Roxanne, if you would like to get started.
Well, I have my senior class especially. I have some of the brightest kids in the school in automotive right now. So some of the teachers and academic teachers, they do see that. I'd like to be more optimistic, but there's still that difficulty there, and I'm not even sure how to answer it. We actually have a third of our program is female now, and not that I want to necessarily, I want kids that want to be technicians, but some of them are the brightest students I've ever seen right now. And so that is changing a little bit, but overall, a lot of times I will see just a lot of people when they want their car repaired, and I don't know. I wish I could say more, so maybe someone else can help me a little bit with it. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no problem, Roxanne. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. You know, Craig, is there anything that Craig and Dennis, has this program helped address the stigma around the trades?
I could just speak sort of about my classroom in general, and then what the Ed Corp is like. So my classroom, I would say, is mostly males. However, when it comes to the business, because of how it's run, I would say we're almost split 50-50 females to males. And I think the Ed Corp platform and having it as a business really opens up like the skill trade areas and all the different avenues that come with that. So the market, like we were talking earlier, the marketing end, working with finances, everything that's incorporated into running a business. You know, it's not just always being dirty, working in these loud, you know, environments. There are other elements that are very important, and we see our students, you know, sort of gravitating toward those areas. And I know Dennis, you know, he has, you know, students too that come through his program in the middle school and feed into this.
Yeah, that's our biggest thing, you know, provide a base. And, you know, a lot of kids, you know, I try to take them over as much as I can to see what's going on and to explain the business to them. That's always one of my first things that I do when I get a new class, and it's just talk about our you know, our student run business, and I show them product. And, you know, some of their siblings have been through the classes before and seen it. So I think we've broken through a little bit, you know, of a basic stigma of skilled trades, because, you know, students see, you know, what we're producing and how we are doing it and the different jobs that students are doing. I think really have really helped us out a lot with that. I mean, with our end for where we're at in school, to be a traditional woodshop class or tech ed class, for them to see that is fantastic, I think.
Thank you to all three of you. I think from what we can gather is that, right, this type of model, these types of implementations have, helped expand and diversify who's involved, right? Like your student base, right? Is both you mentioned about recruiting more middle school students, but also helping expand and diversify in terms of getting more women students into the classroom, as well as, how your communities respond and can see to your the work that you're doing. I did want to, there was a question regarding around profit, around where that goes. Adam, you at Real World Scholars have an interesting and really impactful way about handling profits. Can you talk a little bit about that to this group?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned a little bit during the presentation that we work with a third-party organization called Class Wallet, and it provides the educator with essentially it's like an expense account that they can use to access the funding, both the initial startup funds as well as the profits that are earned during the course of the year. And what happens with the money as students, as the products are sold and the money comes in, is basically that ideally the class is all deciding together how they want to use that money, and the options are to reinvest it back into the business to grow, and that could be anything from ordering more materials to make more products, or finding ways to reward students for their hard work. Students can't be paid because it's part of school, but there are ways to use the money to reward them for their hard work. They can make donations to their school. So if there are things happening at the school that the students want to support, they can make donations to their school, or they can take those funds and donate all of them, a portion of them, to charitable causes that the students are passionate about. And when that can all be kind of tied up in the whole experience, kind of like I highlighted during that video, they learned about bats, they built bat boxes, and they made a donation to bat conservation. It sort of like ties the whole experience all up in a really powerful way. But those are the three things that the students can decide to do with the money they make.
Awesome. Roxanne, any additional
Yes.
thoughts on what profits are used?
Yeah, our labor, our principal is very supportive of us, and it is state funds, but they come back to the school, and our principal is allowing us 100% of the earned labor back in our program. So we could use that for tools, supplies, consumables, equipment for the following school year. So it's really great.
Thank you. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. We are very getting close. Time has really flown by. This has just been an awesome presentation and discussion, but kind of want to ask the final question about any final thoughts on the value of entrepreneurship in the skilled trades and skilled trades classrooms. Any final inspirational thoughts? Roxanne, why don't we start with you?
Well, none of this is easy to do, but it's what we've kind of picked to do to help our students and encourage them to be the best they can be. And us showing them these and having them use these business skills is so critical for them, and to actually apply, not what they're just learning it, they're applying it and doing it even before they graduate. So it's really great.
Thank you. Dennis?
I have to say it's an outstanding opportunity that we should get more kids involved with for what we had, so they can see what goes on to the inner workings of a business, to the point where we sell and we're meeting different people, different professionals wanting to come into our classroom and to see what we're doing and give them presentations, to even job opportunities for them. I mean, it's just a fantastic route that this is going for us. And, anyone who wants to start doing it, I would encourage it.
Sure. Thank you. Craig?
Yeah, just the fact that, the entrepreneurial spirit and building those skills is great, but just overall, what the students get to take away from being involved, the people skills, communication skills, teamwork, time management, money management, just daily life things that they need to be able to succeed is just so meaningful. And this is just one way to really get that and apply it in the real world.
And last but not least, Adam.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Craig was saying. I mean, whether a classroom works with us or takes it upon themselves to find ways to inject entrepreneurship into the classroom, it's just so meaningful. It's so powerful for students. I would strongly encourage anybody who's looking for a way to kind of take their classroom experience to the next level for their students to consider bringing entrepreneurship into it in some way, whatever way is possible for you. The rewards are just so outstanding for the students because it's really all about them.
All right. So on behalf of the team here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, thank you all so much for joining today. Just a real big note of appreciation to all of our panelists for taking time out of their busy schedules and being here, but also to all of you attending. We will be sharing a link to this recorded webinar, as well as a guidebook that with the ideas that were presented from Real World Scholars to all of you today, as kind of a gift for joining us and for really being invested in your skilled trades programs. But also I want to say, please stay tuned to complete a short survey to help us enhance the offerings that we share with the skilled trades education community broadly. So on that note, thank you again for so much for being here, and wishing you the best of luck, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.